Hey y'all, how you doing? Welcome back. Today we are making something fun and easy and yummy for the summertime. We are making Barb's broccoli salad. This is real easy. This recipe was given to me by my dear friend Barb. She lives up in Ohio, up on a big old farm up there in Ohio. She's a wild woman, let me tell you. If y'all ever run into her, you'll know it. She's a wild one. All right, first thing we're gonna do with Barb's broccoli salad, we're gonna start with our broccoli. And I am cheating, I'm just using the pre-cleaned broccoli from the club. You know, it's just easier to have to buy all the broccoli and then cut it off. All I do is buy this and then I just cleaned it a little bit, just freshen up the ends. So much easier. And we are gonna use our new friendly chopper. I like doing it this way. Barb's way calls for you just chop this up and then put it in the bowl. I like doing it this way, a little bit different. I think it's a little easier to eat. I gave the recipe to a friend of mine down in North Carolina, and she did it this way. And after she done it and I had it her way, I liked it much better. So you can change it either way. We're just gonna put it in there. It does call for 6 cups of broccoli. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get it chopped up here. I just like it this way. It's a little easier to eat, smaller bites. You don't have to wrestle with the old, you don't have to try to eat one of those when you're at a picnic or something. This is great for picnics and summertime. It just reminds me of fresh summer. How are y'all doing? How's the weather up where you are? Up here has been decent today. We had a big old thunderstorm roll in last night, cooled it down a little bit. I think we're about 79, 80 degrees today. The humidity feels like it's down compared to what it's been. Now, if y'all remember the review, see it's just a little bit nicer. Smaller bites there, just put it in there. And obviously not gonna use all of this, but what is left, we'll make, something must be stuck in there. All right, this thing's still new. I mean, we're still working out the kinks on it. Humidity's not too bad. I don't know what I was saying, actually, I forgot what I was saying. So we're gonna start over there. We're gonna keep going though. Get this chopped up. Humidity's not too bad here. How's y'all's gardens doing? Gardens here are just starting to take off a little bit. I've got a couple little tomatoes, they're about the size of your pinky on my tomato plants. I'm so excited. And I've got a couple bell peppers, or as us folks down in the Appalachian, we call them mangoes. I don't know what y'all call them where you are, but we always called them mangoes. Until I was an adult, I did not know they were called something else. As most of y'all know, I went to college at the University of Cincinnati. And they made fun of me a lot of times up there because I talked different and made things, we had different names for things where I'm from. So one of the big things up north is y'all call them grocery carts. We call them buggies down home. Done. We're just about to the 6 cup mark. But what I was going to tell y'all a minute ago and forgot. Whatever's left, we're going to, I'll steam it with some broccoli, or this is broccoli. We'll steam the broccoli, the bacon, and we will have it for a side tonight and dinner. We just need a little bit more. A couple more pieces here. Broccoli's kind of fight here. That piece is not wanting to come, so we're going to take these pieces. Now I did put the bigger square. Remember the review? This thing has a different size blade. We used that one, not the tiny one. The tiny one I like for onions. My allergies today have been terrible. I think we could do a couple more pieces right there. Let's just get that in there. Just a few more pieces in there. And we'll have the rest of this tonight. We'll probably make a side with some bacon. Steam it up, throw some bacon in there, put some cheese on it. And if you put cheese and bacon on anything, it's gonna make it good. We're gonna move this out of the way. All right, move this broccoli out of the way. All right, we're gonna take about a 2-second break. I need to clean up my mess. All right, y'all, we got that mess cleaned up there. I made a little bit of a mess. All right, we are gonna start making the dressing part of this. Now, Barb's recipe calls for 3/4 cup of Miracle Whip. I'm not using Miracle Whip. I'm using JFG, our mayonnaise, or our mayo, I should say, real mayo from down home in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we are going to do that. I don't like Miracle Whip. I think it's got a funny little tangy taste to it that I just don't care for. I know a lot of Yankees like it. I don't like it. That out of the way. And that was, I'm using a cup. Her recipe, if you're following for her exact recipe, is 3/4 cup of Miracle Whip. I used a cup of real mayo. So then we're going to put that in there. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. We're going to put that in there. And some folks don't like vinegar. I don't know what to tell you because you have to have the vinegar. And then it's 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm going to use Splenda. Makes it a little healthier, cuts out that sugar. I do low carb. Most of you know that. I say it all the time. I'm on the low carb. I kind of stick to the low carb diet, I should say. So we're gonna mix that up right there. That's gonna make our dressing for it. Makes it real good. This is a great, great recipe. I've made it many, many times. I've done it for a few banquets even over the years. And actually I've had several people ask me for it. And I always tell them, as I promised Barb I would, I always tell them it's Barb's broccoli salad. I did not create this recipe. I was just given this recipe. And I think Barb gave me this recipe by about 20 years ago or something. I don't know. I met Barb when I was in college, my first round of college. I think I was about 18 years old when I met her. All right, we got the dressing made up there, just right there. Just make some good dressing. Now we're going to go ahead and add our 6 clubs of broccoli right there. And then it calls for 6 slices of bacon. I'm using about 12. I'm using a whole cup. 6 slices of bacon should be about a 1/2 cup. I did not know that. I did ask Alexa so I could look smart for y'all. So we're using a cup. So we're using about 12 strips of bacon. Put that in there. And then the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of shredded cheese. I cheated this time and I just had some cheese that was shredded from this club, and I'm using a cup. So I'm gonna put that in there. Now I do believe when Barb makes this, she follows the recipe exact. She puts a 1/2 cup of onions. I don't like onions with this recipe. It's red onions or white. I've seen it with both. And then I have seen it with the golden raisins, and or you can add sunflower seeds without the shells, you know, the fun tasty part. I don't like any of that. I like it just this way. I think it's really good and yummy just this way. Now we're gonna mix that all up and get it combined with the dressing. Now what I always do, I just put it in the refrigerator for a little while so everything kind of meets together, and then we will take it out and try it. It's always so yummy and good. This is very simple. I'll give you a little trick that I learned from another dear friend of mine down in Knoxville, Miss Sandy. I'll tell you a little secret she showed me how to do with some salads and stuff when you're going to a barbecue to keep them fresh and cold. But right now we're gonna mix that together. All right, look at that. That looks nice and yummy. Yummy to me. Barb will probably yell at me because I did not put the onions in it. I don't like the onions in this. Like I said, I don't like the onions. I like it just this way. All right, now we are gonna put this in a pretty bowl. And then we are gonna stick it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna leave it in there probably at least 3 hours and let it all get together and marry each other up, and so it'll be nice and combined. It tastes really good. Now see, I like the small pieces. I know Barb uses the bigger pieces, and I did talk to her the other day about this recipe. She was asking if I still used her recipe, and I said, yes ma'am, sure do. And I told her that I had cheated. I gave her a heads up that I do cheat with this recipe, and I chop everything up right there. Just as simple and as pretty. Now let's grab us a fork out of here. Let's take us a nice little bite. I think it's got a great taste. It does need to be put in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours, I think. I think Barb always says at least an hour. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna grab something. I'm gonna show you a little secret. Miss Sandy taught me this little trick. You take one of your enamel Dutch ovens, you put them in the refrigerator for a few hours, put your salad, dump it in this, put the lid on it. You can take it to a barbecue, and the cast iron will stay cold, and it will act as a pretty dish as well. so you can show off your pretty enamel piece while you're at it. Miss Sandy and I did a banquet one time together down there in Pigeon Forge, and we used one of these cast iron enamel Dutch ovens, and we put ice in it, and we kept our ketchup, mustard, and mayo in it. It was hot that day. It was very hot. Actually got sunburnt, but it kept them cold. So that's just a little trick for y'all. All right, if you make this salad, let me know. Barb will be excited to hear if you made her salad or not. Let us know if you try it with a different way. I've seen it several different ways. This is the way I like it. I know Barb makes it different than I do sometimes, so let us know. And if you have any other good recipes you want to share with us, just send them in to us. We'll talk to y'all.